From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Tuesday, August 6th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. We begin with a U.S. base in Iraq being hit in what's being reported as a suspected rocket attack. According to the Department of Defense, several U.S. personnel were injured in the incident. However, no details were given as to how many troops were injured and the extent of those injuries. The attack was on the Al-Assad air base in Iraq, and according to U.S. officials, at least 2 rockets hit inside its parameters. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack at this time. U.S. bases have been previously targeted by Iran-backed proxy groups over the past several years, but those attacks have intensified since the Israel-Hamas war began last October. The suspense is building in the Middle East as Israel is bracing for some sort of attack from Iran and Hezbollah, which is now being reported as a potential multi-day attack, with Iran's government saying its proxy groups from Hezbollah to the Houthis will participate in its retaliatory hit against Israel. According to Axios, President Biden was briefed on Monday and told that the timing and details of Iran's planned assault are still unclear. 9 United Nations workers in Gaza have been fired after an investigation found they may have taken part in the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. The UN investigation was ordered in January after Israel said employees of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency participated in the attack. The UN investigated 19 relief workers and said it found enough evidence on 9 of them to conclude they may have been involved in the attack that was launched in the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to formally announce her running mate today. We're expecting the announcement to come in the form of a pre-taped video that Harris's campaign will drop really any time now. This comes after she secured 99% of state delegate votes from the Democratic National Convention's virtual roll call to officially get the bid for the party's presidential nominee. Once her vice president is chosen, the two will set out on a 7-state battleground tour beginning in Pennsylvania this afternoon at a joint rally in Philadelphia. Former President Donald Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, is also slated to appear at a campaign event today in Philadelphia. Hurricane Debbie has weakened back into a tropical storm, but it's still packing a punch as it slowly makes its way up Georgia and into South Carolina. It's been a deadly storm, 5 people losing their lives so far, 4 in Florida and 1 in Georgia. Right now, more than 150,000 people are without power, most of them in Florida, but the outages have already started to reach South Carolina. Debbie is expected to unleash potentially record rainfall in Georgia and South Carolina, up to 30 inches in some areas, as it moves offshore into the Atlantic later this morning. Forecasters say the storm could strengthen again once it does move offshore and could make landfall again in South Carolina by Thursday before moving into North Carolina on Friday. A decision has come down in the nation's largest antitrust showdown in more than 20 years. The DOJ handed a major victory over Google. A federal judge has ruled that Google has been operating as an illegal monopoly. The judge saying Google has been exploiting its widely used search engine to crush competition. This included paying cell phone makers like Apple and Samsung $26 billion in 2021 to make Google their default search engine. The judge will later decide what changes and penalties should be imposed. Google and its parent company Alphabet have released a statement condemning the ruling and say they plan to appeal. Our Simone Del Rosario has more about the impact of the judge's ruling in her story on SAN.com and the Straight Arrow News app. It was a bittersweet day for Olympic great Simone Biles on the final day of gymnastics at the Paris Games on Monday. Biles started off the day's competitions by falling off the balance beam and missing the podium. Same with her teammate Suni Lee. But later, Biles' performance on floor exercises earned her a silver, her 11th Olympic medal. Team USA's Jordan Childs took the bronze after originally placing 5th in the competition, but after her coaches called for a review, she received a 10th of a point back on her final score and a medal. And it was Brazil's Rebeca Andrade who won her first gold medal of the Games, leading to the first podium to feature 3 Black gymnasts in Olympics history. These are your top stories for this Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.